Yo, what is up, everyone? This is Records and Rants with Ice and Dixon. Today we're going to be light on the records, heavy on the rants. We got a lot to talk about today. Just to get out of the way, we're going to be doing with records is just some recent albums that we listened to. But on the rants, this is absolutely huge. Breaking news that's been happening across the country is the possible overturn of Roe v. Wade and the league. And we're going to be talking about that today, especially with our special political correspondent, Dixon. How are you?
Ice. Wow, that's a really official title. Special special coordinator. I feel honored to be here with you discussing this, our records and our rants.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is something that's really rippling through the nation right now, and I have my own thoughts on it. I know everyone has their own thoughts on it, but this is one of those things that you don't have to follow politics to know about, which is I feel is pretty interesting. It's something that like a so-called normie would know about. Like
Yes, definitely. Yeah, normies are allowed on this one.
yeah, normies allowed. I should have put that in the thumb or something. Normies allowed because I mean it really is. It's like I mean even my parents who don't follow politics at all, like they've heard of this Roe v. Wade and they know what's going on. I mean,
I
it
remember.
does have massive implications. I don't want to
That's.
put the cart before the horse on this one though. I don't want to spoil it too much, but we are definitely getting into that.
It's funny because my first, uh, I guess, encounter with the Roe v. Wade abortion thing. I went to Catholic school for 18 years. Full disclosure, and
Oh, okay.
I remember being in third grade, and my teacher at the time said, basically told us you have to be pro-life. There's no other way to be, and you have to be pro-life.
Hmm.
And that kind of shifted my focus a little bit because I'm like, well, this is completely ridiculous. Let me think about this before I make a decision. In third grade, I realized that, and
Wow.
every other experience I had with Catholic school was positive. That felt like the only moment that it was a little iffy kind of deal. But yeah, it kind of is in all aspects of life for the most part. It seems like even awareness of it.
See, that's really interesting because I mean, going to a dirty public school, we like I didn't even know what pro life and pro choice was until like literally probably when I was getting into college. I had no clue.
You had to do some research or some
I,
what the what
I
the what the
didn't.
legalities were.
Well, I guess I didn't get myself into those situations. You know what I mean? Until until I got
we
more
have
promiscuous. And then,
Do we have any options or
oh my god, you missed it for one single day. Oh my god, I can't do this right now.
immediately blocked?
Yeah.
It's over.
It's fine. I mean, for the actual issue, I feel like there's a lot of. Oh man, it's weird. I definitely have a lot to say about it. There's like this is such an interesting topic to me because there's legal aspects to it and there's scientific and then you have like literal like philosophical aspects to it
Yes.
that we don't
Yeah.
even like we can't even like comprehend. I mean,
Yes.
as far as like when when life starts, which is extremely interesting. I don't know. I find this there's if you break it down, there's two ways you could look at it, but it's I don't know. It's interesting. We'll definitely get into it though. I'll definitely expand on my thoughts.
Sounds good. So
Yeah.
what have you had on the what have you had on the turntable? Anything good?
Yeah. So, oh, excuse me. Um. Yeah. So recently, I've been listening to Chill Hop, Chill Hop Essentials. If anyone is a
Oh
chill
wow.
hop enthusiast, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you're gonna say, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" But
Missing the boat on the chill hop immediately, and I'll tell you that right now. It's
I,
something you should discover.
I seriously, Chill Hop is fantastic. If if you're like me and you kind of on the spectrum a little bit, and you need something in the background that just is there. It's background noise, but you need it all the time. Chill Hop is the way to go, 100%. And the fall 2021 essentials is probably because I've listened to all of them on YouTube. but I just got the recent. It was an orange press, and I think it was like a
Oh, nice.
relatively limited. I think it was like 1,000 presses that they did, and I picked it up, and it's a beautiful vinyl in itself. Like
Cool.
that's my first colored one in my entire collection, which is really cool. Yeah, so I got that. But it's it's just one of those things that like it's not okay. You know what lo-fi is, right, Dixon?
Of course, absolutely. And you're an amateur verging on professional lo-fi producer.
Ah, that's really sweetie. I appreciate that. But yeah, I know I do produce things like that. But I feel like lo-fi is more like I'm trying to think of how to like lo-fi is more at least lo-fi hip hop is something that you would hear maybe on like an old school like rap album. Like you could possibly hear someone rapping over it. It's not like an upbeat kind of happy thing. It's more like a turned
Right, right.
down kind of solemn like I mean some could be happy, but for the most part it's like oh, I could hear someone rapping over this.
Kind of
Whereas
introspective, I think. I think it's kind of like, I see those videos on Instagram all the time. They'll be like rainy day mix for your life, and it's like
yes.
these, kind of gives you a moment, and it feels different.
Mhm.
It's you're enjoying it. And I remember, uh, who was the guy that kind of got me into it? I don't know if he's really lo-fi or whatever, but Yato from Above and Beyond. No, not from Above and Beyond, but he's connected to their album, their record label.
Okay.
Yato seems like he does like some of that stuff, and it's kind of like there, and you're kind of just on this uh, playing with the beat that works well with what you're
Yes.
doing, and when the beat shifts, you kind of shift too.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. Like it's not something that you're listening to where you're like, "Oh my god, this is so technical." Like, "Oh wow,
Right?
like I can't believe that he did this thing here at this part like this instrument." Like it's not like that. It's
It ain't no dream theater.
wow, and we know how technical. We know some people just they will only listen to technical stuff. And if you're like that, then just get the f out of here. Just don't
We
even
don't
talk
want
to
you here.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Not
Sorry,
friend of the show.
sorry. We appreciate music in all forms. Like for God's sakes, open your GD mind. I'm saying it right now, and you know who I'm
Exactly.
talking to. If you're listening right now, you know exactly who I'm talking
Get over here. We're gonna beat you up
to.
for listening to Dream Theater exclusively for your entire life and existence.
Oh man, that shit really pissed me off. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent here, but into
It's
me
so
and
funny
Dixon's personal
because
life. But yeah, like that pissed
yeah,
me off.
and I know a couple. It's so funny because there's a couple people that we know of that exclusively follow Dream Theater and do everything with Dream Theater,
Yeah.
and it's that circle is so small. But if you're connected to that circle, you've heard about Dream Theater. You've heard everything that they're into. You've heard how good they are, and
It-
without even seeking out that information.
yeah,
you
like
know,
you're just told that. It's like, oh
yeah.
hey, how's it going? Dream Theater. Like, oh my god, they're so tech. I only listen to them, and it's like, okay, good, that's awesome, good for you. But
Oh my god.
it's just funny though to have that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Mm,
imperial or not imperialistic, like egotistical almost. Like
right.
the music that I listen to is superior to yours, and I will not even consider your
Yes.
music
And that makes
anything.
me superior. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly. I feel it. Like there's a lot of insecurity there.
Yeah. I feel
It's
like there
like
is.
yeah, it's like hey, there's this one thing that I could one up you on that I think in my head I could one up you on, but you know,
It's
it's
amazing.
yeah, it is it is pretty amazing. Whereas I'm just sitting here trying to say chill hop is nice to just sit back and just listen to. I don't give a shit about how technical it is. I don't care that the person didn't play these instruments. Does it make me feel good and could I chill to it? Yeah. Okay, then I enjoy
Right.
it.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's
Exactly.
it. That's it. And again, that's what chill hop is for me because it's more upbeat. You have more like there's flutes in there. There's some nice. A lot of people play guitars over it. Like once you get into chill hop, people will play like their own instruments, like guitars or bass and things like that. And again, it's nothing technical, but it's just some nice like
Hmm.
chords that are oh this is jazzy. This is cool. Like I put this on in the background and I could do stuff around the house or whatever.
Right.
And that's just why I like it. I mean, if you could criticize chill hop and especially this album, I would say you. I mean, and again, I hate to say it, as being a producer myself, like when the song shifts, you have no idea who the artist is. You have there's no sound profile. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. There's exactly. It's pretty much one dimensional.
Exactly. And I made a video about this on our sister channel called
Oh
Lo-Fi
wow.
it's called Lo-Fi Sucks, and I tear apart lo-fi, and I that's one
The
of my
very thing
criticisms.
you love. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I figure that was controversial. It's sitting at about 6,000 views. I don't want to get into it, but
Oh my god. Can you send
but
some people over this way for
it,
GD's sake?
I think I'm going to, now that we're more musically focused. I think I should. But yeah, no, I say like yeah, lo-fi sucks because if you're a producer of it, you can't differentiate yourself. You hear a song, a next song comes on, you're never like, "Oh my god, that's Ice and Dixon."
Right.
It's like,
Right.
no, it's another person who sampled, they played some chords over it, and then like they put a beat on it. Like there's no, like, you like Above and Beyond, Dixon, and when I
Hmm.
hear a song come on, I could be like, "Oh, that's Above and Beyond." I
Right.
hear
Right.
their
Right.
sound design in it, but that it's inconsequential, but that's the one thing. If I had to criticize it, that would be it. And but another thing too, and
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry to blab on about this, but
No, I like this. I'm actually really enjoying this.
oh
Honestly.
great, but yeah, so like now comes in the predatory aspect of the whole lo-fi chill hop industry. Um,
Really.
yes, and I don't know. Really should have looked this up, but I know for a fact that it's like this on this one channel. So okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You have all these producers. A lot of
Okay.
people produce lo-fi and chill hop because, to be completely frank, it's probably the easiest. It's the easiest genre you could get into as like a beginner producer and have something sound decent.
Right.
Does,
It's
does that
easy to
make sense?
manage. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Not
easy
as
to
many
get into.
layers.
Exactly. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
I could hear a lo-fi song and say, "Oh, this guy's a beginner," and then another one and say, "Oh, this guy's really good. Like he's been at this for a while." But
So you do notice some nuances when it comes to the experience level, but in
yes,
reality, you could just start up if you want to.
100%, and you can make something that sounds semi decent, and you could send it to someone, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, this sounds actually pretty good." Yeah, like 100%. I would argue that I'm in that I'm in that category of like, "Oh, this guy's a beginner" kind of thing.
I
If
don't
you if
think
you
so. I
if you
think everything you
you
send me is pretty good.
you really think so?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. And I send it to people, and they're like, "Wow, this is actually pretty decent."
Wow, I really appreciate that. I had no idea,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so like you have producers that do that, and then you have these channels, and I'm sure everyone knows what I'm going to talk about. It's called 24/7 lo-fi hip hop chill to study
Uh
to
huh.
beats and
Yep.
shit like yeah.
No, exactly. I don't even know anything about lo-fi besides
Yeah.
lo-fi itself, and I know exactly what these things are.
Yeah, like I feel like people on YouTube get advertised that when they just search for music, and it's live. It's a 24/7 live channel, right? But
Right.
producers submit their tracks to them. So they're giving this channel content for zero. The producer does not get reimbursed.
Wow.
Chilled Cow, the name of the channel that does that. They take it and say, "Oh, hey, this is good. We're gonna throw it on our 24/7 channel," and then they just take your music, and that's it. And you get the quote unquote exposure, and
My God.
that's
But how do you? Once again, it goes back to your original statement. You don't know who's making this music. You have no idea, just on a
it,
constant stream.
exactly. But they do have the artist name, like
Oh, okay.
it's attached to someone. So here's the thing: it's like, to get back to get to what I'm getting to is the fact that, okay, it's on the channel. You're taking a person's music, you're using it as content, and you have millions and millions and millions of views and
Right.
streams on this one channel. But then you take a step further, and Chilled Cow does this, and
Okay.
Chill Hop Essentials does this. With the album I just bought, they take those
Right.
songs that get submitted to them, they press it onto a vinyl, and then they sell it.
Oh wow.
But I don't know if the artists get reimbursed for that. I don't think they do.
It's pretty cool that they do that though. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, oh, here's a song. It really doesn't exist anywhere but YouTube, and here it
Yeah.
is, the physical form. That's kind of cool. Anyway.
I no, I guess I do agree with that. And it
Yeah.
definitely does give you exposure. Like if I ever got a song on there, I get more exposure than I ever got on my small channel.
Right.
100%.
Right.
I would like to know. I would like to know how many people, like, let's say I submitted my song, like one of my songs, the Chilled Cow or Chill Hop Essentials, and then
Old cow.
yeah, that
Yeah,
it used to be called Lo-Fi Girl, now it's Chilled Cow. I don't know, it's pretty funny, but
that is funny.
but I'm just wondering, like, if I submitted my song on there, how many viewers and subs would I get from that? Would it be a lot? Would it be a little? Would it be worth it? Or you know what I mean? Like
Right. Because
when
they
you
have to seek you out then.
exactly because they have to seek you out. But I'd argue that lo-fi is listenable in such a way that you have it on in the background. There's no like, oh, this
Right.
song stands out so much. Who's that guy that's doing this song?
Right.
And that was another one of my criticisms in my video, which everyone should watch. But anyway,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
This is free advertising. I
Yeah,
understand. I get
yeah,
it.
no, I mean, no, I really do have to bring some subs over here, 100%. I think that'd be a good idea. But but anyway, yeah. So anyway, Chill Hop Essential Fall Essentials 2021. Absolutely give it a listen. Again, I think it's the best out of the essentials, the vinyl presses so far, because like I said, you get lost in like the songs that you're listening to because they all kind of sound the same. This one,
Right.
as far as all the albums, this one has the most differentiation
Oh, cool.
in my opinion. Yeah. So
That's cool. I'm going to give that a listen. And actually, before I totally forget, I don't want to ramrod this whole thing, but I have an album I want you to listen to
okay.
for,
All right.
for next
Hold
week.
on. I'm getting my pen out, Dixon. Here we go. Let's go.
I'm gonna listen to Chill Hop Essentials 2021 Fall Essentials.
Okay.
All right. So what I want you to listen to, because I think I thought about when you're talking about this differentiation thing.
Yeah.
And sound print and all this kind of stuff. I want you to listen to "Trouble Will Find Me" by The National.
Trouble. Okay.
"Trouble Will Find Me," The National.
Now so if people are watching this and no one knows, we do this pretty much on a weekly basis. I'll give Dixon something to listen to. Dixon will give me something to listen to. And the way that I go about it is I don't look up anything because I have no idea what this is. The Nationals, the Trouble Will Find Me. I've never heard of it before.
It's just The National, not Nationals.
Oh, what? A baseball team or something?
Yeah. You look up "Trouble Will Find Me," The Nationals. It's like the World Series,
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird. I didn't know the music, but I mean, the balls were cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the games were cool, I guess. But
Yeah, the bases were an interesting choice. I don't know, but yeah, it was cool.
oh man. Okay, so yeah, but I don't know anything about these people, and the way that I go into it is I don't look up the band, I don't look up anything, and I just go into it totally blind. But I will ask you one question, Dixon.
Yeah.
Are they similar in any to a band called Pixies?
I think you're going to see a print there from the Pixies. I think.
Okay.
I think that in this modern genre, you have those core bands that were such a formative part of all of these bands' formation. So I think you're going to see that. The thing is with the Nationals, we were talking about. I like the National. I like a lot of things the National has done.
Yeah.
They that album, you listen to it, it kind of sounds, I think, exactly the same. And it's one of those albums.
Interesting.
It's one of those albums. I think it's more mood shifts than actual like differentiation of songs. There's a couple songs in there that where they start and end, but it kind of works together. And I got this album. It became one of my favorite albums. I got it. I came out like 2013, and I was going through a tough time. I was getting my heart broken.
Oh,
I was so in love, and I was kind of going off the deep end. I got a tattoo, all this kind of shit.
I was there with you.
So, yeah, absolutely.
There through all that.
So, yeah. So I listened to that. I'm like, I just felt absolutely 100% worse listening to it, and I never felt better as a result. Like It just kind of pounds you with just like emotion. And it's funny because remember I was in Ocean City, Maryland, for a couple of days with some friends, and I was driving back, and this one kid's in my car, and I'm like, "Yo, let's listen to this album." He's like, "All right, well, I want to hear it." And he's listening to it, and he goes, "Boy, these guys are really depressed." Now, my interpretation of the songs, and it turns out they were completely wrong. They were a little bit different, but that kind of goes to show you the music, especially chill hop. You
Yeah.
kind of read into it. You kind of read into the emotions and what you feel, and it could be something totally different. And that's what's great about it is what it means to you. It means something different to somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's totally ambiguous, and it's just like you get what you want out of the song, whether
Right.
it's relaxing or you're sad or you want to be happy. Like you get what you want and you interpret it the way you want, and I think that's why I like it so much. So I'm pretty excited to listen to this album if it's anything like that.
I recall that you dated, maybe not dated, maybe just kind of chilled, chill hop,
Oh boy,
chill hop,
chill
fall
out.
2020, chill hop fall 2020, 2018, whatever it was,
Oh
with a
my
young
god.
lady who was into the National. I will say the National are typecast into a certain type of persona and certain type of culture and hipster.
Wait,
That
now
kind of thing.
who's this that you're talking about? I'm trying to think.
This is the one.
Well,
This is the one.
we don't have to say the names. I don't know if you
No,
could
no, no.
without doxing. We'll just if you could drop me a hint, like
I I don't. I really don't know the name. I wouldn't say it if I did know it, but I don't know the name. The one defining characteristic I
really,
recall.
who the hell is
Yes,
this? Then I'm very
the
confused.
one defining characteristic I can recall is that she was a big fan of those gummy bears that are like the gourmet style gummy bears. They're like they're in that white package, Alban or something.
Oh, you're talking about.
She
I
had like
know
the
who you're.
short hair. She have short hair?
Short hair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're mixing some stuff up. Are you talking about the girl
No,
that I was with
no.
that was very liberal?
Yes, that's the one. Didn't she,
Oh,
wasn't she
okay.
into those gummy bears? Wasn't that her?
No, that was the other one. That was the one that hung out with me
Oh,
on New Year's Eve and messaged you guys and said like, "Oh, we're just hanging out at Ice's house uh alone together." And she was very in your face and name started with the you know what I'm talking about, Dixon?
no, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Lives in Chicago now.
Oh, so that was her. She was into the gummy bears.
She liked the gummy bears. The liberal girl was into vegan treats.
Oh, that was it. Vegan treats.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Never mind. Yeah, I was
yeah.
mixing it. So yeah, I mixed the two up because I recall I thought we were driving somewhere and you picked up those gummy bears for this girl that was into the National, but it turns
Yeah.
out maybe they were just for your own consumption. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, no, she. I mean, I do like them too, but she
Yeah.
was, but she was also a fan. But okay, so that makes total sense. So this, oh man, that girl was something else. But so she would
Did
like
she give
these
you like a real
people.
hard time? Yeah. Did
What's
she give
you
you
know?
like a real hard time about stuff like?
Oh my god, I this is the kind of shit that I would love to listen to, just like people talking and like so I'm gonna go into this a little bit, but yeah, she
Yeah, I want to hear this. I do. I
so
really
she
want to get it.
okay, so we we went out on like a couple dates and like I knew she was
Uh-huh.
like I knew she was super liberal. This is actually a great fantastic segue into our rant, but
Great.
she she okay, well, don't get me wrong, she was very nice girl.
Oh, nice. Good.
For I mean, you know, she had good mannerisms. She talked, and you know, she wasn't on her phone the whole time. She was
Right.
very involved. She seemed to enjoy my company, but
Oh, good.
immediately she was, you know, just at me with the politics,
Oh,
and
God.
you know, being like a radical centrist that I am, I do like guns. She said she didn't like guns, and then it was about Trump and all this stuff, and how he's a radical racist and everything, and I'm like, well, I don't really think that. And that was the big downfall
That
because
was it. Yes.
we went on a one single date after that, which I was super surprised because she told me so many times. She's like, oh, all guys on here, like they don't care, they don't think Trump is a racist, and they support him and stuff like that. And I was
Right.
like, oh shit, like I don't. So
Yeah, yeah.
so
Trump sucks. Like,
yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, he's
yeah, yeah.
but like you know, I certainly never hated Trump, but she did, and she asked me if I did, and I said no.
Yeah.
And I told her the truth, and we went out, and then
Well, at least she gave you a chance. I will say that. That was a pretty good redeeming quality.
yeah, no, good
Yeah.
for her. And then, but then like she went over her house, and she was like, what do you think about UBI? I was like, oh my god, like what?
Oh God.
Are we really gonna have like a discussion like this right now? Like we were getting ready to watch a movie or something.
We all know what happens when Ice watches movies.
All right. Well, I mean that's what I thought we were going towards. I thought we were getting
Yeah,
into
of
something,
course.
because I mean that's what happened. It was like our third date. I mean, if you didn't want to be with, like, I don't know, don't bring me up to your
Yeah,
room or anything. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's
and
like
and
you're just flaunting it around. Good.
and I'll be honest. Like, would I have slept with her? Like, yeah, obviously. I mean, like, what?
I'm
If,
not an idiot. Yeah.
yeah, like, yeah, I'm not an idiot. Like, I 100%. If she wanted to, I would have. But like, it wasn't going that way, and at the same time, I wasn't feeling it because I was
Right.
at the point in my life where I'm like, all right, I would like to have a girlfriend by now,
Sure.
and she wasn't it. It was
Right.
too much animosity like from the very beginning, which, and I totally respect other people's political views, but she was the kind of
Right.
person that was like, I I cannot be with someone who's like that, and if you have opposing views to me, then you are a racist, bigot,
Hmm.
and just a terrible person. I was like, well, I mean, yeah, you could think that you're wrong, but like,
Right. 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 Right.
but
I mean,
I
that's
couldn't be with someone like that.
no, absolutely. I mean, that was. I mean, like I said, I think that was a big um, redeeming quality is that she actually went out with you and kind of gave you a chance because I think there's people that wouldn't do that.
No, 100%, because
Yeah.
you have so many women on like the dating app that say like, oh, if you're not a leftist, then swipe left, or whatever the hell you do now. It's like,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, don't even talk to me if you're a leftist,
And it's funny because I
or
haven't
if
been
you're not a
on.
leftist, rather. Yeah, no, sorry, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I haven't been on a dating app in. I never even really used it, but I haven't been on a dating app in. God, it feels like 10 years plus. And now I'm seeing these screenshots like on
Hmm.
Instagram and stuff, and how that's a part of the bio automatically. Like if you
Yeah,
like guns, go the other way, whatever the swipe
yeah,
is, whichever way you're supposed to swipe. And I'm like amazed at how these people they're trying to meet people, but they're already so opposed to meeting
yeah.
people. And
No,
it's amazing, you know?
yeah. There's no, and I think this plays into. Oh my God, Dixon, I could go on about this for hours and hours, but I think I think it also plays into the selection availability that women have on these dating apps. They can go out and say like, "Hey, I want this, this, and this."
Right.
And one of the common things, like you said, you see is the political leanings, and they get to
Right.
specify on that. Whereas men, like myself, like I don't want to go out with like a super leftist girl, but at the same time, I gave it a shot because
Right.
I don't, I'm not in the top 5% of guys. It's like, and
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's studies that 80% of the women on there will go for the top 10% of men,
Huh.
and they'll swipe left on everyone else. So
Wow.
yeah, no, like that's an actual study. I forget where I read it, but you could look it up. But anyway, like you're kind of screwed on that, but yeah, like you will see that those things come out. They're like, oh, you have to be 6 feet. If you have to, you have to have a dog. I'll love your dog more than you. Like that bullshit. You always see that. Um,
Yeah. What is the 6 foot thing? What is this all of a sudden? You have to be 6 foot plus to even talk to somebody.
I you you got me. I mean, like me and you definitely aren't height challenged, but I'm certainly not like a fucking basketball player over here. It's
Yeah, exactly.
and to be honest, like I'm super comfortable with my height, but I feel bad for guys that are like 5'6" or 5'7". I
Right.
that's 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 gotta. I mean, you're not 5'6" or 5'7", Dixon, right? Like,
No, I think I was saying 5'9" for a while, but I think I'm actually 5'10". I went to the doctor and my
yeah,
feet planted, and I'm
oh,
5'10". I think. I don't know. I really have no idea. I was telling people 5'8" for a while, but then they said no, you're definitely not 5'8".
no, absolutely not. No, there's no way.
So
I was gonna
I
say,
think I'm 5'10". I think. How
yeah.
tall are you?
I'm 5'10". I thought we were the same height.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at this picture right now of us. You and I were head to head,
Yeah.
sideways,
Okay, there
laterally
you go.
equal. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, we're small. We're short kings. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
we're king of the shortage, or whatever you want to call it. But But yeah, it's like I don't know. That's bullshit. 'Cause, I mean, that's one of those things that you can't control. I understand. I could totally understand weight. Like people have their
Right.
preferences. I mean, it's fine to have your preferences, but to really go hard at something that you can't even control, it's
Yeah.
like get the fuck out of here. I don't
I
know. It's
know.
just,
Yeah.
that kind of shit really annoys me. But the whole political thing is very very frustrating too. It's like
Yeah.
people like that just live in their echo chamber and they'll never listen to anyone else. And so that I mean that's how that eventually ended up for me with that
Yeah.
woman is that you know we emmed out and I'm not gonna lie, Dixon, like I was happy, but I was like, man, that it was almost like a hollow thing. You know when you
Yeah.
when you em out with the girl, you're like, okay, this is great. Like
Mm,
I'm ready to go. But
sure.
it wasn't like that. I was so disappointed with how everything was going as far as like her constantly injecting political things into it. I don't know. It was just like whatever. I wanted to I want to get laid that night, of course, but at the same time I wasn't super disappointed. And then I think the next day she messaged me and said like, "Hey,
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm
Yeah.
not feeling like the romantic connection here." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's totally fine." Like I am and I said I'll be honest, like I don't know if I am either. And that was it.
That
So,
was all. Yeah, you moved on.
yeah.
That's something. And I wonder if she, because you see this a lot now too. I wonder if she was one of those girls that kind of picked you up and said, "Oh, I could fix him. Like I could
Yes.
make him do these things, all that kind of stuff." And what do they want to date somebody just like them? That's awful. You know, like in terms of
Yeah.
like the brainwashing and basically being a beta, basically being a second woman. Like I don't understand it.
I don't know
And yeah,
but just to touch on what you said really quick about like the just having a second woman being a beta, like uh, not to stereotype too hard, but the guy that she's with is now that
uh,
with now, not like I'm stalking or anything. I think she comes up on my Insta,
yes, yes,
but yeah, that guy is very
uh-huh.
very. I'll tell you what, the guy has never touched a weight in his life, and has definitely certainly never stepped in a gym. I'll say that. Which is fine. That's fine. You could you could do that
Right.
if you
Hey, you
want
know
to.
what? Yeah, yeah. Hey, go for it.
But
Definitely fits the stereotype, the cookie cutter, if you will. Yeah.
yeah, like you're a certain kind of person that's gonna let this woman 100% walk all over you, and you know if you're into that, then I guess you are.
That's that is unbelievable, and it's almost
Yeah,
like these now. And we're getting into our rant here for the day.
yeah,
But now you're seeing this stuff. You're talking about like this woman's going to walk all over this guy, which is guaranteed. It's definitely going to happen. You
yes,
see now these women that I wouldn't say they're the most attractive people in the world, but
hmm
they're screaming, they're protesting, they're threatening sex strikes, and it's
oh
like
my god,
okay, whatever. And like he's one of these guys to be like, yeah, yeah, babe, we're not going to have sex
yes,
until everybody's equal, or like like some
yeah,
bullshit,
yeah, like
like
babe, like
yeah,
yeah, you're so right. I'll just
yeah.
sit here, fucking, and you know. Oh my god, I that just that gets me going. That's so hilarious because like we're laughing about it, but like that is I guarantee that that has been a conversation. Oh, what do you think?
Yes, one hundred
I
percent.
think I'm gonna go on a sex strike. Oh, okay, babe. Like that's so cool. Like yes, babe. I love you.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely
I'll go.
definitely posted about it.
Yeah, I'll go protest with you as well. Like while we don't
Yeah,
have sex for 5 months together.
wearing one of those pink hats that are just I
Yes.
don't know what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, you're not talking about the vagina hats, are you?
Yeah, are they vagina? Are they supposed to be vagina
I think
hats?
so. I'm not.
No, no,
It's
no less.
very crude. Not for me. I'm gonna go.
Who is out there restricting vaginas? What is this about? What are they talking about?
I don't know. Well, I guess we should talk about what we're talking about. We're talking about the recent leak of the memo that talks about the Supreme Court possibly overturning Roe v. Wade.
There's so many issues with this. Number one being the
Yes.
leak.
Yeah.
The leak is so
Let's attack
egregious.
that first. Let's attack that first.
Yes,
So what
yes.
do you, Dixon? What do you think about the leak? What do you think that there was a you think this is malicious? Do you think that this was? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could look at it, but what do you think?
Right. As part of me was thinking like, oh, this is definitely government psyops. that,
Yeah.
it's before these important primaries in these important states. It's before what's going to be coming up in the midterms after the summer.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, instead of the momentum that I would argue the momentum that the Republicans had, or the people that are just the opposite of Biden had going into this is an opportunity to slow that steam down. Because it's not about how bad the fact that Biden had no plan for CVID, even though he told you that he had a plan, unlike Trump did, and has no plan for that. Has blaming supply chain issues on the war in Ukraine and Putin, because all of a sudden, this is a big deal. It shifts from that and from that incompetence and that lack of action to this one sole thing, which really fires people up.
Yes, I 100% agree with you on that. I mean, like to just expand on the list, like you have, like you said, Biden, because it was you're taking away the focus on all these things that Biden did wrong. You're taking away the fact that he didn't have a plan for COVID. You're taking away the fact that the pullout in Afghanistan. I don't even know if people remember that.
Oh yes,
how
exactly.
how absolutely disastrous that was. You're talking about the handling of the Russian-Ukraine war and how. And you're looking away from the fact that Biden didn't keep up his promise of forgiving student loans. You're taking away from, right? No, we totally forgot about that. He's like, did I say that? I don't. Oh, I'm old. I say a lot of things. I don't know. So you have that. Then also look at inflation. What does Biden say? Oh, it's Putin's problem now. I think he actually said that. I think it's Putin's problem. So you have all those. All those things I just rambled off the top of my head. That was probably just in the past year, but now we're all coming away from that, and now it's, hey, there are conservative justices that are overturning Roe v. Wade right now. Is this what you want? If you don't vote for Biden, this is what you're getting. This is what's going to happen. Oh, you can't vote for anyone else. You got to vote for Biden now because this is the main problem. And I think you're totally right. I think it was a psyop.
And I love it too because you have these things now, and it's always going to go back to this. Now, first of all, before this, there were 150 genders. Now it's only this is women's rights. This is a women's thing. This is all about this. This is the first time ever in history in the last couple of years that it's actually have a focus on an actual female, biological female, and their rights. But it's funny because you see this thing like, oh, men shouldn't be making laws like this. Roe v. Wade was 7 men. They made abortion legal, and this is the other thing too. This is what everybody fails to recognize. I think the fact that abortion is not going to be totally illegal. It's going to be up to a state to have their own laws, their own regulations, kind of like what they do with everything else. With the exception of the Second Amendment and things like this. So you take away federal protection for abortion. However, it's not going to be completely illegal off the charts. You're still going to be having these opportunities.
It's certainly going to be more difficult. I mean, you're going to have to go, like you're going to have to
absolutely
to travel and everything. And I mean, oh man, I could really rip into this. So, well, I think I'll talk about my moral ideas on this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're really gonna get into it. But yeah, I mean, first of all, to make a joke, I want to go back to what you said about how this is like suddenly like a woman's thing.
Yeah.
And like how we suddenly care about women again after saying that women don't matter, transgenders are like the best people in the world. Well, I think Roe v. Wade is sexist because they just protect women. I think it should say birthing person. So I think it should be gone immediately.
Well, there you go. So that solves all your issues. It's over.
That was a funny joke. That was me pretending to be a leftist right there. So everyone get a good laugh out of that. Okay.
I love it.
Birthing person.
And it's so ridiculous like that too. But what you were saying too about the you have to go to different states, you have to travel, right? So let's look at how progressive Amazon is, how progressive Tesla is, right? Oh, don't worry, you need to have an abortion. Here's a $4,000, $5,000 installment to travel and go get an abortion, right? How progressive is that?
No, Dixon, I'm sorry. Are you saying that Amazon is giving people this? Is that what you're...
If you need to have an abortion, you qualify for these things. Amazon, if you work for Amazon, you're an Amazon employee, they will give you up to $4,000 to travel and then seek out abortion services if you're in a state where you cannot have an abortion.
Really?
Yes. So, right. So this is great, right? This is awesome. Look at how progressive they are. Did
Yeah.
anybody ever think about, okay, we're being feminist right now. At this moment, we're being feminist. We're being pro woman. We're being pro birthing person. We're being pro childbearing and be able to have my choice. Well, guess what? That's fantastic. It's still cheaper than paying out maternity leave. It's still cheaper than giving you months and paying your leave for maternity when you're
Yes.
raising a child.
And-
how feminist and progressive is that?
That's why they're doing it, and people just don't see it. It's kind of, I mean, it's definitely not exactly like, but it's kind of similar to like when all companies like change to the rainbow flag for like a month. They
100%.
don't give a shit. They just want your money.
Yeah,
People have to like look past this. But yeah, yeah, they're so progressive. Yeah, it's because they don't want to pay you fucking maternity leave. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Dixon. Absolutely.
It's amazing. It is unbelievable how they can skew one issue and then you totally lose sight of the actual what could actually be progressive and actually be an issue. You know?
Yeah. That's
amazing.
That is pretty funny that that happens. I mean, I think we when things like this happen, we really lose sight of like what's really going on. Either that or people are just stupid. I don't know if people get so worked up into a frenzy or they're just like, I have no idea. But let me ask you this. Do you support this overturning? Do you think, I mean, and it could be on the basis of anything. It could be on the basis of like you think this is a step in the right direction because you don't think abortion is right, or it could be a step in the right direction as far as I don't think the federal government should have this power.
I don't think the federal government should have this power. I don't think the federal government should regulate anything. I think if you want to do something, you want to. This is a medical procedure, right? The problem is with these things is that sure, there's certainly aspects and members of society that have probably taken advantage of this. They use this as a backup. I don't want to get into the fact that there's thousands and thousands of people that can't have families, that can't have children. There's people that are homosexual, that are gay, that are lesbian, that can't have children and would love to have children and will be a lot better parents than some of these parents that we see, especially where we grew up. So I don't want to say that people that are quote taking advantage of this don't have any other options, because I think they do. The other thing is, though, I think if you're taking it up to the moment the baby is born, that's kind of a little extreme. I mean, at this point, the whole argument was always like, oh, when does life start? When does life start? Well, here, this life, by your definition, just started. They're out of the womb. They're basically on their way to being a person.
Wait, so how
in my mind is murder.
How far does that go though? You're kind of scaring me. Is that could you actually abort like up until like?
There's one of the states are states that are up to the moment of birth you could have an abortion.
So like literally right before you go into labor.
In theory, yes. So I think that, and the other problem is too is now, in the '60s, and when you had go back to our records, there's this huge rumor that Bob Dylan got what the hell is her name? I can't think of it. A folk artist pregnant, and she had an abortion with Bob Dylan's baby.
Yeah.
So the thing was that obviously that probably would have been the greatest folk artist of all time, that baby that they aborted, if it was actually true. But there's places you can go to get this thing done, even if it's illegal. All right, we know drugs are illegal. Oh my God, wow, nobody does drugs, right?
Yeah.
So the problem is that you make this illegal. There's going to be ways around it. Now Vice is endorsing you take a horse pill, just like Joe Rogan did for CBD to chemically induce abortion.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's a complex issue. I really do. I think the overturn is probably not the best idea overall, just because of let's regulate this. Let's make it safe. Let's make it medically appropriate. Medically. There still has to be some guidelines there. You can't just get pregnant and say, "Oh, I want an abortion because I don't want to keep this kid." I think that's wrong. Mm-hmm. But I also think that when you have issues like when the mother's life is in danger, where there's rape, where there's things like this, I mean, come on, let it slide.
I mean, man, it's.
I think the overturn. I think the overturn is a little premature, or shouldn't happen.
Okay, so you overall you don't think it should happen, but well, but okay. Do you think okay?
Mhm.
You think the overturn should happen just based on the fact that federal government shouldn't be regulating stuff, but you would
Yeah,
support if every state made abortion legal, is what you're saying?
with certain circumstances,
With
yes.
certain
Yeah.
circumstances. I mean, and okay, once
Let's
you
say
get
first trimester for the sake of the argument. Let's say first
okay,
trimester.
okay,
I don't see a problem with that. Yeah.
first trimester. So I guess then you make that argument that it's I guess that's when life starts. And then see that's what makes this whole thing so complicated because you're oh man, it's like you're talking about getting into when life actually starts.
Yeah.
And it's like does life start right when you
Yeah.
do the deed, like is that when
Yes.
or
You
is
think
it
you think it does? You think it does or no? Because I don't
I
think it does.
I don't I don't even know because then it's like well or is it when you become conscious? I mean shit,
Yeah.
when do you become conscious? Like I don't remember anything when I was a baby. I've
Yeah, it's also true.
yeah, it's like, was I aware that I was even alive at that point? Did I even have the brain capacity? I mean, but you can't quantitate that. You can't
Right.
give a measurement and say, oh, this being is now conscious. This thing knows that it's alive. It's aware of itself. But oh, I don't know. I'm not in the right state of mind right now to even begin to like get into the intricacies of it because again, it all boy if you're going to go down the road of
Yeah.
hey this is a life, then you're getting into a whole bunch of different things because okay,
Yeah.
let's be honest, like you have okay, a little sex ed for everyone out there. You got your sperm and
Okay.
your eggs.
Okay. Okay.
If you're sitting home one night and you're you're having a little just letting some steam off, let's say. I
Yeah.
mean, what is that considered like murder? I mean, you're killing
Oh
like a
my
bunch
god.
of
This
a
is
bunch of
ridiculous.
I'm
This is
just I'm
ridiculous.
just saying is that it's just it's a bunch of
Yeah.
cells, so like I guess you could argue that it's
Letting
just
off some steam. Do you think it's a good idea? Really? Do you think this is a good idea?
that what's a good idea.
Overturn the possible overturn of Roe v. Wade.
I I don't know. I guess I'm getting sidetracked, but I'm trying to think of this because I really don't have an opinion. Okay, let me tell you this. I have different thoughts on the whole thing. Do
Okay.
I think women should be able to control their bodies? Obviously, I think everyone should be able
Obviously.
to do whatever they want with their body. However,
Right.
once you are responsible for another life and you have another life inside you, I don't know if it's
It's,
right to. I don't know if it's right to just like. I don't
yeah, I
know.
agree.
Like
I
it's
agree with you. Yeah, it's tough.
it is a very tough decision for me. And then again, it goes back to the question. Well, that's not a life inside them. Well, what if I consider, when you have a fetus that it is a life? Like you
Right.
are, I mean, when like not to get too grotesque, but when you have murders of people who are pregnant, don't they get charged twice because they
Yeah, they
killed
do.
an unborn infant?
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah,
like
it's the penalty is a little more severe.
exactly. So you got
Yeah.
one law says one thing, but the other says a different thing. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you're talking about the same thing getting killed, but why are you giving extra charges for this, but not extra charges for like any charges for this?
Yes.
I don't. It's
Yes. When you make it a flippant thing like, "Oh, my body, my choice,"
yeah.
it's really
That
hard to swallow that pill. That it's just like, "Oh, whatever." It's because you make
I
a good point with that.
yeah, like okay, like I get it. Yeah, your body, your choice. 100%, I'm with you. But some people are arguing it's not your body. It's a different life
Yeah.
within you. I totally understand what you're saying, but like it's not just your body, your choice. It's
Right.
that unborn infant's body's choice as well.
Wow,
Or
look at
or
you. Were you in my third grade class? This sounds like this sounds like
uh,
yeah, I hear you though. I hear you making this argument. It's something to consider, certainly.
that's what's hard. And then people will probably say, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's loading these words. He's saying an unborn infant." Okay, a fetus is a fetus. Is that a life? When I look at a fetus and I see a fetus, I'm like, that's a baby. That looks like
Yeah.
a human being that's chilling in there.
Yeah.
But it again, it comes to the point of like, are they conscious? Are they not? Do they experience? Are they experiencing life right now? It's such a weird it's such a weird area of law to get into, honestly, for me.
Hmm.
I really don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll
It's
tell you
so.
what, Dixon.
Go ahead.
No,
Let's
no.
hear it.
I so when you're in the first trimester, it really is just like a bundle of like cells like mashed together, correct?
Right. Right. And at that point, though, too, from what I understand,
Hmm.
there are tests, there are screens, there are things they can do to say, okay, hey, maybe this isn't going to go the best way for you and for this baby
Yeah.
slash fetus. So if you're, I think at that point is probably the best point to make a decision like that
Yes. Yep.
because
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, because
I don't know.
if you look, I'm gonna have to look up. I'm gonna search it right now as stages of fetus. Probably
God,
gonna get some.
I hate the word fetus.
I do too. I really I really do not like it.
Fetus.
Oh boy.
Oh
Wow.
boy. Oh no.
Um. Jeez. You don't got much time before it starts turning into something human like. I'll tell you that.
There you go.
So
It's only 9 months when you think about it. It's a pretty limited window.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. So when you're at like 16 weeks, it's already looking very human like. 28 weeks,
Hmm.
very much so. 40 weeks, it's a baby. Like
Right.
I don't know. When I'm looking at that's
So weird that it's weeks, isn't it? Isn't that unbelievable?
yeah. Seriously, within 16 weeks, you have something that looks like a baby. Man, I don't know. See this makes it more tough for me because when I look at something like that, it's like I don't know. It looks human to me. Like I'm basing it strictly off of like what I visually see.
Right, right, right. Visual.
It's not a bundle of cells. I'll tell you that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying that this is tough for me.
Wow. This is,
This
look
is
at this. You're like I don't know what. Amazing. I never thought you would have this stance. I really don't. I really
really.
didn't. No, I never did. I never expected you to be totally pro life.
I really,
Every
I
aspect.
mean, I'm just saying it's hard for me. I guess you could say I'm semi pro life. I mean, just again, just looking at the pictures, it makes it harder. I'm telling you right now. If you look at this and say like, oh, that's not a human, it's just a bundle of cells. Well, I would
Yeah,
argue like looking at it,
yeah.
it doesn't seem that way. So I don't know. But then again, is it just a thing that's chilling in there that doesn't have any life? It doesn't even know what it is. I mean,
Mm,
like, does it have a
mm.
heartbeat? Yeah. So then, I don't know. This is
There's so
it's
many factors. It's so hard
yeah
to say either. It really is either way. I think and I hate to be like this. Looking at it from a logistical standpoint,
yeah
it just seems to me to totally overturn a protection that is nationwide. Just seems to me like I don't think it's the best move logistically or
yes
medically.
and I okay, after everything that I rambled on about and said, I would agree that I do not think that
Yeah,
this should have been overturned. You know, I
yeah,
I honestly think like Supreme Court overturnings are probably a little problematic in the first place because they're supposed to be like the end all be all. I wonder
right.
how many things have been overturned in history, but
It's a really good question. Well, the women's right to vote, I think, stuff like that, right?
yeah, that's
Slavery.
yeah, but
Is
that
that true?
was those were amendments to the Constitution though. That
Oh yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah,
a law that was put in place and then they said, "Oh, you know what? Screw that." But
yeah.
I don't know.
Nah.
It's a there's we're getting into the weeds of this, but I again, I think you know what? I think you let it go. Again, I'm not if a woman decides to have an abortion, I'm certainly not getting upset about it. But again, I just have a problem by looking
Yeah,
at what I see right here on the fetal growth charts that like I
no, I
mean,
agree with you.
yeah, I don't know. It's
I agree.
it's tough for me. But again, I don't think that this should be overturned. I think it's this is a big mistake and we're going down a path that like I just don't like the idea of overturning things that have already been set in motion so easily.
Yeah,
Just out of nowhere. Like, where did this even come from? To be honest with you,
I don't
like,
know, man.
what
Yeah, it's
prompted it?
wild.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But the other thing is too is what's amazing to me is that you see these terrible pregnancies,
Yeah.
teenagers and ours and family members and stuff. And it's funny because if you look on Instagram or TikTok and you follow along with some of these women's journeys are trying to get pregnant. It seems like it's the most impossible thing to do is to get pregnant successfully, and it seems like it happens in the
Yeah.
worst case scenarios all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't that?
just wear a condom for Christ's sake.
I know. For God's sakes. For God's sakes, just do that. I mean, skip all this.
God.
Skip all this terrible stuff and just
Yeah, it's I don't fit in a condom. Get over yourself.
get
What are you?
there.
What are you? The
Yeah.
Hulk?
Yeah.
Get over here. Yeah.
I can't stand when people. Oh, I don't. Nothing is big enough for me. Yeah. Get the
Oh,
Get the fuck out. Yeah, bro, you're probably 4 inches long on a good day. Just get the hell over yourself.
God, look at us being so progressive. And it's
I'm
the
just,
truth. It's like, get
it
over
is.
yourself,
Seriously. Just,
unbelievable.
yeah. Oh, man. It's funny, though, because like you said, like, you think about you think about how, like, people get pregnant, like, so easily. But then you also
Yeah.
hear about people who try to get pregnant and it can't happen.
Yeah.
Just makes you
Yeah.
wonder after having S, it's like, well, am I like infertile? Like, is it like
Yeah.
so many of these accidents happen, but it's never happened to me or you. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
geez, I wonder.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. This whole thing has my mind spinning right now, Dixon. I'll tell you that.
It really does too, and it's terrible.
Yeah, like a record right round. I'm telling you.
Wow. And here we are wrapping up
Oh,
Records and Rants,
that's right.
episode 3.
That's right. That was a great episode. I'm glad you. Well, I don't think anyone was listening, but but when you do listen, because I know people listen to, we get a few views afterwards, but we appreciate you guys for listening. Consider subscribing as well, because we're going to be pumping these out every single week.
Every single week, as long as Ice can fit in his schedule. He's a busy boy. He's got a lot going on.
I really have been these past couple weeks. It's been pretty wild. But I'm finishing up the work that I have to do in my house. I'm rearranging everything. I'm rearranging the whole studio on Monday, and then everything should be set in place. And I don't think I have anything else going on. So,
well, that's exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the. What's up?
So your girlfriend's in Miami, living her life.
She's really in Miami. I'll tell you that. Really having a lot of fun.
Where is she? I think she's like in Clearwater.
Yeah. I don't know why I just accepted that. Like, oh yeah, she's in Miami. I
don't know. So terrible.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I got the day off. Some may say.
All right.
So I'm just gonna be sitting like a big slug doing nothing.
Well, have fun.
Yeah, you too, and everyone out there, have fun. Have a safe weekend, and we will see you in the next one, episode 4.